All right, what's up, guys? We're going to do a Let's Learn for the GT4 series and the Mustang GT4. We're going to be doing it at Sonoma. So first I'm going to show you how to get the accurate weather when you're not in that race week, because it is still the race week for Sebring. So we'll find the series. We'll click on the series. We'll go to schedule, go racing, and then test drive. And then you'll see it's going to pull in that 67, 66 degree weather or thereabouts. It's never exact. Um, Obviously, you want to make sure you got the right car. And then we can look at the track a little bit here, so we can actually back out. If you want to get a more detailed view of the track, you just go to view track, track map. So Sonoma, fun track. Really like it. It's one of those old school tracks where they just use the terrain around them. Been a long time since I've driven anything here, but I am familiar with the track. We're going into turn one. It's an uphill. Probably gonna be lifting a little bit, finding the right racing line, going in through turn two. It's probably gonna be a middle late apex. We're gonna be cresting over a hill. Rear end might be a little loose on us. Turn three, car compresses a lot because you go into this little dip. And then turn four, you're coming back up over a hill again. So the rear end's going to be loose on you, but coming out of four is a good opportunity to get a pass going into turn five. Um, Same thing if somebody messes up turn five, although going into turn five can be pretty tricky because it's downhill, so it's easy to overshoot it. But I do believe we're going to have a good amount of runoff on the outside here. We'll see what it's like in sim. And then coming through five, this is another. Oh, we're not doing the NASCAR version. Okay, so this is actually a little bit shorter than I thought. I thought we were doing a NASCAR version. I actually prefer this version because this is like the old school version. So this is a real short shoot. So it might be hard to get a pass going in here. There's probably going to be no passing going through this whole area. Maybe coming out of 7 into 9. Then we come down into 10, and then we go through the S's all the way through. Maybe you get a better run. Maybe if somebody botches 16, you can get a pass on them going into 17 through here. You can do a lot of stuff by getting them offline and crossing them up and trying to like mix it up and take advantage of something there. But looking forward to running this lap, so let's get into the lap. All right, here we are in the car. Let's get out there and check this track out. Definitely gonna be lifting going through there. Like I said, we're coming up over this rise. We'll figure out if we need to be on that curb or not. Turn three, kind of compresses. You come up over the rise here, really blind, especially in the Mustang. And then we'll check it for the old route. Come up over this rise, probably brake at the top of the rise, maybe brake a little bit before the top of the rise until we get up to speed. 2 weeks in a row, we're going to have a carousel corner. And then here, not really sure, we're going to brake at that boards right there, and that was not soon enough, so we'll brake before those billboards on the left. Probably going to treat those two corners as one big double apexing corner. And now we're going to go through the downhill S's. So it's all going to be about rhythm and flow and getting used to all the nuances. Pretty flat out through here. Let's see. Let's brake. Yep, definitely need to brake there. And here, as we're coming down, we'll start braking where that line goes solid for now. And here, you just want to try and hug it as tight as you can. And just be smooth with throttle and exit. And we come to the start-finish line. So, we're going to apex at the wall, lifting, downshift, brake. Second gear, let's go over the curb. Doesn't really seem to hurt the car at all. Get the relative up. A little short shoot there. I gotta get the car woed down again. Real awkward corner. It's going downhill, it's falling away from you, no real camber in it. And here we're gonna brake just before we come over the rise. Oop. Tires are cold. Alright, so here we'll start braking where this tree bush ends. Right, a little too early, but here we got, see, no, not quite a double apexing corner. It looks like we are going to need to straighten the wheel out there a little bit in the middle, but it's pretty close. Then here, how much can we cut? We can cut a significant portion. How much can we cut here? Do we want to cut? That's to be determined. And now we got to figure out where are we going to start braking for this corner. So we do want to carry as much speed as we can through there. We might not even have to brake yet, I'm not quite sure. Take it a little bit past where that solid white line starts for pit entry. Try and keep her nice and tight all the way around. So this time I'm going to carry it past the apex before I lift. I'm lifting it into pit wall. Little brakes to get the car to rotate. Get to where the end of where that curb ends, and that looks like a pretty natural reference for the braking point for that corner. Looks like we can kind of start in the middle and never really let the car slow down enough to get to the apex towards the end, but it might be similar to Road America where we kind of keep the car in the middle of the track and then slowly bring it to your late apex. It'll also be interesting to see how much we can swing it out wide there before we get a 1X, but you also do want to be careful you don't swing it out wide and let someone get on your inside. Third gear through this whole section. Kind of see something I'm looking at now to know when to get back on the throttle there. Little brake, we're in fourth gear now. I don't think that's going to work. So we're going to do the lifting past the pit wall exit where that wall ends. Going to do that again. That's my reference point for lifting. So lift now. Little brakes to get the car to turn. There's a lot of grip there because we're driving up into the mountain there. And maybe go for that later apex that seemed a little bit better and pushing out wide like I did last lap. I think I like that by not hitting the curb. See, the curb ends on the left there, and then we can get on the brakes. It's really awkward because you're so blind there for a second going over the rise. Alright, fourth gear. So it looks like we do need to go to fourth gear there. We're kind of in the middle of the corner. Now we want to kind of start tucking it back in. Still pretty loose on exit there. You gotta have a lot of wheel on it. I'm gonna get closer to the board here before I brake. Yeah, let's just experiment. Let's just see how far we can swing this out wide. Oh wow. So you can really go out wide there, whether we need to do that or not. We'll find out, but now we know we can do it. So I'm gonna show you what I'm looking at when I'm getting back on the throttle. So as we're coming over this corner, see that little, it goes wall to tire barrier? Like when my start pointing right there, that's kind of my reference for when I want to get back on the throttle going through that last right-hander. I'm going to lift a little past the wall this time, see what happens. Just take it in there a little bit deeper. So we just have so much grip right there because we're going up into the corner. I think you want to keep it tight here as opposed to, like, I'm exaggerating, but as opposed to letting the car float out wide there, I think you want to keep a tighter line on exit. And here, I think you're better not hitting the curb. Maybe go to third gear, I'm not sure. One of those awkward situations where you don't know what corner gear you should be in. Yeah, got to be real patient for that corner because you want to get on the throttle sooner than you should. It's almost like I want to apex that later, I'm not sure yet. Like I was talking about before, we're going to look for that reference I was talking about. We're coming up over the crest, we see it, we can get back on throttle. We might even be able to get on the throttle sooner than that. Just based off how that felt. Little brake, third gear to help the car rotate, back on the throttle. I think the tighter you can keep it closer to those tires, the better off you are going through the last corner. Wow, you can drive it in there so deep. We're going to try and keep it tight off exit. You're not going to be able to keep it all the way to the right side, but I think here you can drive it in pretty deep too because you're just driving your car into the track. So yeah, a little short upshift there. You will run out of gear. Carrying more speed, trying to be patient. Like you want to apex past the curb, I think. I think that's how you want to get through that corner, just like that. Yeah, really let this float out wide because I want to try and apex this later. Nope, that didn't work. See if you can get a better run down the hill. Yeah, that reference I was talking about. I think you're going to get on the throttle there. There's the curb on the right as you're going through the corner. I think that's where you're going to want to get on the throttle as that curb's ending. See what the tires are going to look like. Looks like the fronts are going to stay pretty even. No roll and balance there, and the colds and the rears just don't get up to temp quite as fast, which is typical. Again, we're driving this thing way in there. It's like you can almost carry it all the way into the yellow line, but you are definitely lifting before that yellow line. Really don't think you want to touch the curb there. It's one of those corners where it pays off to be more conservative with your braking. Really don't try and push the braking. It's just going to punish you too much. So we want to carry a good amount of speed through the middle of the corner, and then we want to be real patient. The last part, but we didn't quite get our apex. Still experimenting with that corner. Gotta be patient with this corner. You can't really make anything happen there. I need to brake. So the curb's ending. We're getting back on the throttle. Which means I think we're going up. We're staying in fourth gear. Trying to get it low down.
That was your fastest lap of the session.
You can just drive in that corner. Probably the most grip the Mustang's had yet. He's going into turn, whatever that is, turn 1 or 2. Gave the gas a little too early, flowed out wide. So I imagine we can do somewhere in the low 38s. It'll be good enough. We'll see how that pans out. Now, second gear, gonna allow us some more rotation. Might want to go into second gear through there because it doesn't seem like it's too topped out. Yeah, it's a good spot to get on the gas here, is like just past the midway point of that curve on the right. Keep going to 5th gear there. Do not need to go to 5th gear there. You're just good staying in 4th. You really don't need to go into 5th there. And bounce off the limiter. Yeah, later apex there. Don't touch the curb. Get on the brakes early. Don't push it too hard. It's really nice. Aaron's a little loose there trying to stay on it, so we're going to go down to 2nd gear. He's pretty happy in 2nd gear, likes to rotate. Trying to apex towards into the corner. Felt pretty good coming off. Entry was a little sloppy though. Fun section once you get the rhythm down. Yeah, it's nice track for the tires. They're all pretty even. These fronts relative to fronts. So the Bentley went to 5th. Did carry a lot more speed through there. I'll keep experimenting with that. You want to get a later apex here though, but it's a tricky one. If you miss that turn in, you really hurt your corner. Here, I think you got to lift a little bit just to really keep the car underneath you. There we go. I think that's the way we want to get into that corner. Still got to work on middle and exit though, with that kind of entry. He's like we can cheat out wide here to get a little bit better angle into the corner. That's something to mess around with too. just push that corner. You try and get too much out of that corner, it's going to punish you every time. Way too much speed. But we will have a better angle on exit. The rear tires can't really hold it. You can get in that dirt there and widen that corner out just a little bit. Same thing with there, you can widen it out, you just gotta be careful leaving the door open. Alright, so that was a good little first run. Let's see if we can get a 38 with hitting all our marks. I feel like that'll be good enough. Nice thing is the tires saying their optimal pressures for a long time here. I don't even know if those went into the 28s on the front. I find tires like in the low 27s is your optimal pressure. They just don't stay there that long. I usually run out of the 27s pretty quick, so for the tires to be in the 27s still after 10 laps is pretty good. See where the sketchy spots are in the car on cold tires. Sure, coming out of here is going to be kind of sketchy. And be careful there on cold tires. Cold tires. So right here, I'm kind of looking at these orange signs as like a reference of what I'm aiming at when I'm on apex and about when I'm picking the throttle back up. It's like a good reference for me for that corner. And I'm just going to try and focus on being smooth. Remember, we got cold tires, so turn one you can't. Really don't want to hit the wall, but we're going to hit the wall. Turn one, be careful. Doesn't look like the tires get sticky for the first couple laps, or at least the first 2 laps. So I could see people bending it there after going into lap 2. Really want to be cautious going through that corner and conservative going through that corner on the brakes. Same here, you want to lift through the middle or you probably will spin out. Here, be a little chill coming over the rise, just be patient. Patient on exit. Nothing seems terribly sketchy through here as long as you're not overdriving the car. Everything feels pretty good through here. Did get a little lighter on the rear end going over that rise. So I'm looking at those orange things. I'm off the throttle, I'm getting back on the throttle. I'm off the brakes, I'm getting back on the throttle. Kind of all around pointing at those orange billboards. Okay, so remembering what happened last time out, let's be a little more cautious going into turn 1. Be ready for that rotation. Carousel seems to be the trickiest corner. Not quite sure how I want to just go through it yet. That seemed pretty good though. This exit was a little sketch. Cold tires. I do like going over that curb, but doing it late. I don't like going over that big curb early, but I feel like if you go over it late, you can get a good line, good exit. Again, we're braking, starting to face those orange signs. I'm letting off the brakes, I'm getting back on, we're hitting our apex, all kind of around that point. I tried to carry too much speed and I broke too late. Turned in too late. Messed the whole thing up. Going over the curb like that, I think that's pretty nice way to get through that corner.
Just take your fastest lap of the session.
Too fast. I'm focusing on a later apex is better for this corner. Maybe we just want to be patient and just hug the quiet line all the way around. I keep trying to do that there. Seemed to be the fastest way I've got through there thus far. So you really want to get all your braking done there before you really enter the corners. So you can use your front tires for turning and not braking and turning. Too fast. Trying to be like a little bit lighter on the brakes and smoother, but just carrying too much speed. I'm always struggling to find like the perfect brake. That's crazy how far out wide you can go there. Still not get a 1X. Alright. So yeah, we put another 5 laps and the tires like right in the middle. They're like 27.5 and 27.4. So I mean, you should have really good tires for this race. Should be nice and consistent. Should be able to run some pretty good laps for the majority of the race, if not all the race. I think we can get the lap this outing. Feeling good about my pace and how I'm clicking. Like I said in the beginning, it's just really like the flow of this type of track. Just really using the terraform. I think that was the right word. You know what I mean. Real patient getting on the throttle, coming out of there on cold tires. And you want to carry more speed in there so you don't have to like get back on the gas. It's a tricky part because it's hard to find a braking reference there. They're in your proximity to those billboards. Now remember, this corner is sketchy in the second lap. Yeah, I really like that line there. I think that's going to be my line through there. Just kind of trying to keep it nice and tight. I guess we're going to have to get back on the gas on this corner no matter what. Probably a little too fast through there. Yeah, too hard.
Just stick your fastest lap of the session.
Woo! Alright. That was pretty good. Might be good enough. Definitely decent.
New fastest lap for you.
Just keep going.
That was your fastest lap of the session.
Too fast. I think finding the right entry speed there is like the trickiest part for me right now. You can see we still got really good pressures. We're like in the mid 27s. It's like the most standout thing to me about driving at this track right now. Alright, so I don't know. I have some slight issues with my lap. So we're going to do another run. See if we can just kind of smooth out those issues. Just had a couple corners I didn't exactly execute the way I wanted. One being the carousel, and then the other one being, I don't know, the two corners just before you start going into the S's. Gonna focus on our cold tires again. This is one of those times like I'm pretty close to like a good enough lap, but it's getting those next couple tenths and executing the lap just right every corner. A little bit further and away you might think it is, because there's just so many corners here. You got to get everything just right. A lot of places to make mistakes when you got this many corners. Or get things just wrong. Oh, another thing I want to do, I'm going to address the brake bias. I'm going to go down to 56.2 on the brake bias, and that should help us trail braking into a couple of these corners. Kind of help the car rotate a little bit more without being out of control. Like this corner is going to help us rotate. I mean, every corner is going to help us rotate more, but some you're going to notice it more than others. I noticed it in the carousel. So we need to do those little dabs of brake to help correct our speed. It'll just kind of help the car rotate more than it would previously. Yep, cold tires, sketchy coming out of the carousel. This corner should help with rotation, and we'll carry a little bit more speed through there. Still trying to figure out turn 2 and the best way to go through there. I think the best way is to just carry a lot of momentum through the middle of the corner and maybe let the car still kind of float off to the outside. Kind of where I'm at right now with that corner. Another corner that brake bias helps a little bit in. Just help getting that final rotation to get up over that curb. Went to 5th gear, try it out, don't like it. So I'll just keep staying in 4th there. Keep using these opportunities while you're getting back up to speed, getting the tires warm, keep testing things out. And sideline just really seems like the way to go. I just need to make sure I don't push too hard on entry for the carousel. See, now if I can just do that every time there, that'll be pretty sweet. See, with the old brake bias, we would have blown through that corner. We would not have been able to turn. What we just did there. It's a little too much speed through the middle of the carousel. Actually, I think I just found a good reference point for braking there. It's it's the asphalt on the ground. There's like a little slight variation in color where they put a patch down. I can use that for my reference point. I just need to put a lap together. I feel like the brake bias is helping a lot in that last corner too.
New fast flat for you.
I'm just trying too hard. Let me slow that down a little bit. It's a gnarly corner though, because you really do have to send it. Yeah, regroup here. Yeah, cool. I have braking reference for that corner now, so gonna make that a lot easier to click off some consistent corners through there now. Alright, let's do this. Jeez. That wasn't it. Just trying to be too easy on the brakes. You really got to send it around this track a lot. No, we'll try and back it up and slow things down, but I just kind of feel like a lot of these corners you really need to carry a lot of speed into them to do it just right. It's not really a track that you feel like you can just like sit back and it'll come to you. Like, it allows you to attack it, and because of that, that's how you're fast, is when you're really attacking it. Just not really clicking right now. Alright, so kind of feel like I'm racing the relative too much right now, so I'm just turning it off. I'm just going to try and run smooth laps. I have to do this every now and then. It's kind of like I can just kind of sense like getting a little brain fatigue, getting a little tired, focusing on the wrong things. Need to focus on being smooth and a decent lap. Yeah. Missed that last corner. Almost had it. Now you can see how turning stuff off will kind of help you readjust. Alright, gonna reset. We're gonna get it this time. I can feel it. This is also a good example of like what to do once you're kind of hitting a wall. It's like just turn off the relative, start running laps, and try and be consistent. Yeah, I'm still trying to get like a really good fast lap for the good enough lap guide for me to be able to show you guys how to get around here. But you really can benefit just by turning off your relative, just trying to be smooth. Then you kind of start getting your confidence back, because you can see you don't really have to like, do not hit the wall. I hit the wall there. But yeah, you can start to get your confidence back, because you can see you can run fast without pushing hard. A little reminder there, cold tires through the carousel are very dangerous. Definitely getting some brain fatigue in here, so I gotta buckle down to get this lap. So other thing, like, yeah, the tires don't get up to pressure, but they also stay colder longer too. So you gotta keep that in mind. Can't really get going until lap 3 or 4. So really gonna try and keep it on rails this whole run, not, you know, overdrive these front tires and chew them up too soon. Keep the good in them. Let's try and be smooth. Lap 2, remember the first corner can be treacherous, or is treacherous. Here you can really trip your fronts if you're just driving into these corners too fast. You want to make sure the weight gets transferred properly before you get back on the gas. Alright, let's knock this out. Too fast. Oh, I drove in too deep. I drove in way too deep. I am struggling, boys. I'm just tired. This'll happen. Sometimes, you know, just really drags out. This is one of those times. Yeah, probably the best thing to do, if you're not trying to make a YouTube video in this situation, just step away, you know, maybe come back next day. You'll probably click off a really fast lap, but that's what I usually recommend doing in these situations. More mentally fresh. Alright, I'm just gonna keep going for it. I think I figured out turn 1. I need to take a wider entry into it. Now it's like turn 2 is the next thing I figure out. And if I can get those 2 corners consistently, the rest of the lap I think I kind of have figured out. But these 2 corners you really have to attack. And if you don't attack them, you're going to lose a couple tenths. So it's kind of hard to just, you can't really like, I guess you can sit back and be smoother, because that's kind of how I'm getting, I think I figured out one now. I just figured out that last lap. But I just need to kind of try the same thing for turn 2, just to be smoother and just carry more speed. Try and attack it, but don't attack it with brute force. Just attack it with like speed, precision, and smoothness. Yeah, different mindset going here. You gotta swing that out way wider, get that apex a little bit later, and just be smoother with it. And then for turn 2, you don't really brake. Just kind of lift. And you're just kind of coasting through both those corners. Just finding the right spot to lift and turn in now is a trick for turn 2. I think that's it for turn 2. That's how I got to get through there. I think I do need to kind of attack those curbs a little bit more if I'm not perfectly online. We done did it, boys. I know it's not our best lap, but it's our best looking lap. That one lap we got, that last sector, we crushed it. I did different in that last sector. On that previous best lap, but I went through there so fast. Alright, that's good enough. But yeah, you can see how you have to attack those first two corners. I'm happy with all the braking points on that lap. We'll go back and look at it real quick. I think that's about all I got, boys. Now, you come back and you do another lap, or you come back another time, and you'll probably start to be able to, you know, knock out some faster laps. Let's check out this lap. So wider outside N. You just want to make sure you get that late apex for the first part of the corner, so you get a better line through that part of the corner. And then here you really just got to attack it. Splitters bottom out. We're hitting curves, but that's just how you got to get through that section. I probably could have broke a little bit sooner for this corner. Was really happy how I got through this corner and the carousel. Exit, we got a little loose, but it's not the end of the world. I really liked how we got through here on entry and middle. Maybe could have held a little bit tighter line there, but all good. And then here, happy with the braking point. First apex. Happy with the second apex. And I got through all these S's really well, except for the last one. I kind of missed my apex just a little bit, but that's why it's called the Good Enough Lap Guide. So I could have ran that on the curve just a little bit more, but I think I gained more time because I didn't do that. And I don't know what I did that one lap through here. I think I went through there really well, but I went through there like, it was 0.15 tenths quicker. You know, it's this lap, and I just like smoked. It doesn't. So pretty much brake in the same spot. I don't know. Doesn't look much different, but obviously I did something different. So, I don't expect any of you to have stuck through that whole thing, because I know there's a lot of times I wasn't talking because I was tired, but I guess it's a good video to see how you can struggle, you know, getting up to speed, especially on a track like this. This is a pretty unique track. There's not a lot of tracks that I feel like you attack it's quite as hard as you do in the first two corners in the Ford Mustang, and I think I just realized why. It's because, you know, this is a GT car, right? Like, it doesn't have a ton of downforce, but when you're driving into these corners and just pushing the whole car down into the track, it turns it into more of like a downforce type of car where like downforce cars, you're pushing so hard. So you kind of get that same sensation with this car because it's just push. You're just getting all this grip that you're not used to in this car. So you really have to push to take advantage of it. And at the same time, try and be smooth. So this is the first step of getting up to speed and learning a track. After this, it's, you know, run laps. Keep running laps so you get consistent. You'll keep picking up time. Try and be smooth. Just focus on being smooth and hitting your marks. All right, guys. See you in the next one.